Hi everyone. So today is April 9th, which also happens to be the 1-year anniversary of the beginning of the Lizzie Bennet Diaries. And now I haven't been watching that long. I only discovered it, I looked it up earlier today, and I discovered it on the weekend of February 16th. So it's been just a little over a month and a half for me. And it's been quite a ride, that's for sure, and I've been fully immersed. But it's not nearly as much as some people who have been watching from the beginning, and I know that a lot of people have been sharing their thoughts and their feelings on Twitter and Tumblr today, and I could go on and on about how I feel about the fact that the show's over and probably turn this into a very sad little thing, but I thought instead to commemorate the 1-year anniversary of a show that we all love so much, I would instead share some of my favorite moments from the show. And so I'm going to share my favorite moments for each character. One of the things that I really like about her is that despite the fact that she's very clearly trying to manipulate Lizzie and trying to keep control of Darcy and her brother and all of those things, that underneath it all, there's a vulnerable person there. She's very insecure, and she just wants those around her to love her and to like her and to spend time with her. And I think there's something very humanizing about that, and it makes her more accessible as a character for us as the audience to relate to. Especially in moments like, for example, when she's playing that game with Lizzie where they're sort of talking about Darcy and his views on women and how his ideal woman is a bit unattainable. Caroline, on the one hand, is sort of egging Lizzie on and wanting her to continue to hate Darcy. But then on the other hand, as they're playing this game, there's this light in her of how she just like really wants to win, and she gets so excited when she gets an answer right and so disappointed when she gets an answer wrong. And it's one of those few moments you see with Caroline where she's not really putting on a show, and it kind of cuts through all the facades that she puts on, and you kind of see a genuine moment from her, and I just really like that. I also really love when Caroline does costume theater, and she's just the whole thing about this is a hat and all of that. That just it's fun. My favorite moment for Bang is actually during the Netherfield arc when Jane is sick. That whole interchange between him and Jane where he's telling her that her prognosis is that she's only going to live for another 70 to 80 years, and just I love how attentive he is to her and how sweet he is to her, and just he treats her right, and he clearly adores her, and I just love that about him. And then I also really love him in episode 92, and it's one of those moments where we get a clearer picture of who he is from him, particularly when he's explaining to Jane about dropping out of medical school and his reasons for doing that and what he really wants. Also, the other thing I really love is how he responds when Jane is reluctant for him to come with her, not because she doesn't want to be with him, but because she doesn't want him to just come just for her. And I think it shows a real emotional maturity about him, and just that he gets who Jane is, and he gets who he is, and he gets that that's something that they need in order for them to have a successful relationship, and I really love that. He's great. I know he's only in a couple episodes, but I really enjoy him. I love that first episode where he's, totally like, I'm ready for my close-up and all that stuff. But I also really love where they're making the care package for Jane, because I think that shows another side to Fitz that because we don't see him a lot, you don't really get to see tons of that, but it shows how supportive he is. He just met Lizzie, but he's willing to help make this care package for his sister, and he's like really good at it, and I love how supportive he is to, like, all the transmedia you see with him and Gigi, and how he clearly supports his friend Darcy, and he supports Darcy's sister, and he's a very good, loyal friend. Love her so much. Especially love the way that she, like, finds out about the videos and basically instead of being mad about the fact that Lizzie has basically trashed her brother on the internet a lot, instead she's decided, oh no, my brother and this girl need to be together, and she just keeps throwing them together as much as she can, and I love that about her, because it's so sweet, and she's kind of like the audience there, you know, like, that's what we want to see, and that's what she wants to see, and she's right there with us, and she's trying to help. One of my favorite Gigi moments is actually the episode where she comes to Lizzie and tells her side of the story about George Wickham, and just the vulnerability that you see there, and the bravery and the courage that it took for her to do that, just is so great. It's a great character moment, and it shows how very strong Gigi is, that, you know, she's able to do that. So it turns out I have a lot to say about the Lizzie Bennet Diaries. I just spent the past 3 hours trying to edit down the footage I shot earlier, and I still had 16 minutes of video, which is far too much to ask you all to watch in one sitting. Plus, I don't think my internet could handle uploading that. So I have decided that I'm going to split it into 3 parts, and the Lizzie Bennet Diary birthday just gets to keep on going.